Carmela Castellano Garcia serves as the president of the Board of Trustees of the Castellano Family Foundation, which has donated more than $4 million in grants to Santa Clara County nonprofits in California and is actively involved in addressing the diversity issue in Silicon Valley. Carmela is also the president and chief executive officer of the California Primary Care Association, overseeing a membership association of more than 1,100 nonprofit, community clinics, and health centers, which serve more than 5.6 million patients a year.
Well, the Castellano Family Foundation is located in the heart of Silicon Valley in San Jose, California, and provides funding to nonprofit organizations that serve the Latino community. We have long recognized, being raised in San Jose, of course, recognized that the school systems are really failing our Latino youth, and they are not advancing in the STEM arena at the level that we really need to happen. Just a discouraging statistic from 2010 showed that in San Jose and Silicon Valley, Latinos were below proficient in Algebra 1 at a rate of 70%, and that compared to 45% of the general population. So clearly there is a need to focus on our Latino youth right in the backyard of the tech industry and invest greater resources in their educational attainment. So one of the focuses of the Castellano Family Foundation is to invest in nonprofit organizations in Silicon Valley that are really attempting to do this, to be in the schools, to work with the children, organizations that are community-based, that have community boards that are reflective of the community. And just to give you a few examples of the kind of programs that we really think are important for our Latino youth include, for example, the Jose Valdez Math Institute. This is a wonderful program that brings hundreds of students from San Jose into intensive 7-week-long summer courses where they focus on math to really help them to prepare to be more successful when they start the next school year. The programs take place in community colleges and on college campuses to expose them. Other programs such as the MESA program at San Jose State University is very important for helping students to explore careers in science, math, and technology and provide them with tutoring and mentoring opportunities, which are of course also very important for supporting our youth. And then there's programs right in the elementary schools that are providing, for example, hands-on science. This is beyond what they are learning in the general curriculum. There are after-school programs where the students can stay after school and be involved in science competitions, science fairs, science projects, again, to expose them to science and work to enhance their math skills. All these kinds of efforts, we believe, are absolutely critical. But there is certainly a need for a much more significant investment in our Latino community, and starting right there in the backyard of Silicon Valley. You have a population in San Jose that is 30% Latino and growing. And yet we are not represented, you heard the statistics from the Congresswoman, not represented in the tech sector. And that is a huge challenge for not only San Jose, but the entire state and our country. So we really think in terms of the success of the foundation, what we just hope to continue to do is support local nonprofits that are involved in these kind of very important programming. But what we need to do is encourage an even greater investment from others. And it's going to take philanthropy for one, but well beyond philanthropy, the tech sector, some of the initiatives we're hearing about today where they are investing in the community are certainly absolutely important. We need to do more with our schools, local businesses. It's really going to take the entire community coming together to really make a dent and address this issue. Being involved in philanthropy and healthcare and this issue of tech, the issue is prevalent. And I just need to mention, since we are talking about STEM and the kind of careers that lead to the tech industry, it's having an impact on other sectors that are economic engines for the state of California and nationally, and provide jobs that are well-paying and wonderful career paths, and that is the area of healthcare, for example. And so you have the state of California where you have 5% of our physicians being Latino, but 39% of the population being Latino. So tremendous disparities, and that's not just for physicians, it's nurses and all across the clinician spectrum. So this is the fact that we are struggling in the sciences, math, and technology and the education arena has an impact not only in tech but in other very important sectors. Philanthropy is another very eye-opening arena. Despite philanthropy's commitment to advancing these issues and investing in causes for the poor and underserved, ultimately, if you look at diversity in philanthropy, it is tremendously lacking. And there was an initiative in the California legislature to actually hold philanthropy accountable to reporting on their diversity stats, which the foundations did oppose and ultimately entered into a voluntary effort to track diversity. And the results just came out several months ago after 5 years of voluntarily tracking diversity in the philanthropic sector by over 400 foundations throughout the country. What they found was that there was pretty much no improvement in increasing diversity in philanthropy at all levels. So these issues are really challenging across all sectors and really having a big impact on our community. In terms of ultimately really trying to address this, I think it's really important for people like the individuals in this room. We all have a role to play. You are here and have made it to this conference because you have achieved a certain level of education in your life. You are involved in the public policy arena, attending a policy conference. Certainly policy is a very important arena where these issues need to be addressed. And so I think it's really on all of us who are in a position of influence, in a position being educated, in a position to be interacting with others who care about this issue, to really start by asking, what can we do to impact this? And it can start with your children at home and what we tell our girls about their opportunities and how we encourage them to realize that there are opportunities for them out there. It involves with your familia and educating others, and then it's really what you do with your career. We have these young interns in this room from the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute, interns in public policy. There is tremendous opportunity to impact these issues by being involved in the halls of Washington or the capitals in your state. And we really need Latino leadership in those positions to make a difference. And even just as the CEO of a trade association in Sacramento, I look around, and not only are there no other Latina CEOs of trade associations in the healthcare sector in California, but I don't know of other Latina CEOs in the trade associations of the halls of Sacramento that I'm aware of. So this is a real issue throughout, and I think those of us who are in a position really need to start by asking, what can we do? And I think there is a lot more that needs to be done. We really recognize the importance of investing in young women as well. And organizations, we talk about the power of Latinas, there's a wonderful organization in the Bay Area called the Chicana Latina Foundation, which really focuses on empowering women in their educational achievement, everything from providing scholarships, which is so key to helping young ladies get through school, to mentoring, so exposing them to women in the profession who could support them. They're developing an internship program right now, and they are looking to Silicon Valley tech companies to partner with to be able to place Latinas in these firms with a paid internship opportunity so that they can get the exposure. And then certainly leadership development, which is so important for young Latinas to be able to be exposed to others, to be able to come together to support one another. Organizations like the Latina Coalition of Silicon Valley, which is about professional women who are in the industry and government and other sectors really coming together to support one another. So I think that focusing on young women in our Latino community is absolutely essential. Back to the powers of Latinas supporting Latinas. And I have talked to so many Latinas who say that their key mentor has been another Latina. And I think, again, it goes to what we can do in this room. Those of us in professional careers who have our degrees, and women supporting others. And I know I've been mentored by many, including my mother, Carmen Castellano, who's always been my role model and certainly my mentor, but other individuals such as Jane Garcia in the health sector, who is the executive director of La Clínica de la Raza, and I represent the community health centers in California. Someone who's just been there by my side, counseled me throughout my career, someone I could really count on who believes in me. Those things make an absolute difference for our empowerment as women. And those of us who have had the benefit of having a mentor support us along to be able to turn around and give that to somebody else, I think it's really one of the most important things we can do. And you can do it one-on-one by taking someone under your wing and supporting them, advising them, and counseling in their career. And then you can also do it by being visible and being out there and being in a leadership position and being in a public forum and encouraging broader groups of young women to get involved in tech sector, advance their education, and advance their employment. Mentoring is absolutely key. One of the things I'm really pleased about the Castellano Family Foundation are actually our efforts to partner with the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute, which has done some work in this arena, and last year in 2015 held a tech summit out in Silicon Valley to raise awareness on this issue. And it's really wonderful to have members of Congress involved in advancing this particular agenda. So our foundation has brought in the Silicon Valley Community Foundation, which is the largest community foundation in the world and located in the heart of Silicon Valley, to work to support the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute as they move forward with this tech initiative, ultimately publish a paper on the diversity in tech issue and advance the issue through another diversity in tech event that will be happening next spring. So I agree with you, philanthropy does need to come together, and certainly the technology companies will be involved in this initiative as well. Well, speaking of leadership, I would say that has been one of my great challenges over the years, is really how to try to learn, evolve, and grow to be a better leader. I became CEO around the age of 30. I've been pretty much running organizations from the beginning, but you don't learn how to do that in law school and undergraduate. So it's really on-the-job training, trial by fire. And so having made mistakes along the way, certainly what I've learned is that it's always important to be in that learning, growing mode. You could always be a better leader. And I certainly, even after 25 years of my career, feel that I still have a long way to go to be the inspiring leader that I want to be. So I think it's just a continual learning process. You need to learn from your failures. I don't forget those leadership struggles that I had along the way, and I am still constantly trying to correct myself and be better and grow. I continue to believe, and our foundation believes, that investing in the local nonprofit sector that is involved at the ground level in the community, providing exposure to young people such as yourselves to opportunities and educating them so that they can see themselves in this area, enhancing their skills, exposing them to programs is absolutely critical, and we need to keep doing more and more of that. And in Silicon Valley, that a kind of a bigger investment in that is absolutely essential for our future. And really, the reason why we believe so strongly in this is our future depends on it. With 57 million Latinos already in the state of California, half the growth that's happened since the year 2000 has been due to the Latino community. Latinos and our youth are the future of our country. And so to have these huge inequities in all arenas that we've talked about today beyond tech, but in all sectors, is really a failure for our entire country and has huge implications for our future, for our economic development. It's an equity issue across the board. And so this is something that really a wake-up call to all of us, that this is not a new situation. Our challenges that we have faced have been going on for decades, and they are not getting better at a level that is anywhere keeping up with our population growth. And yet in a state like California, and increasingly in many states across the country, Latinos and Latino youth are the future. So it is absolutely essential, and I really commend the Congressional Hispanic Caucus for taking this issue on and continuing to shed light, because I think in the halls of Congress, it is so critical that we recognize that something must be done. The future of our country depends on it.